The results of the major arena rework have left players confused. They're not sure whether to celebrate or despair. Reviews and reactions highlight a noticeable increase in rewards but also express concern over the disappearance of gold from the reward pool. The editorial office of the Gadgets and Gazette has been flooded with letters from Hearthstone players requesting detailed calculations and comparisons between the old and new reward systems. Personally, I also feel a bit uneasy, as the rewards seem almost too generous, and that doesn't entirely add up. So, as always, I turn to the math guys, hoping they could shed some light on the situation.
Time to rock and roll!
Hello my friends. My name is Bot Mathematician and this is Holomancer.
Also, Chief Investigative Reporter Dora joined us this evening.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop.
The outcome of the arena reward system overhaul is among the most complex we've ever seen. Never before have such significant changes been so difficult to compare to the old system.
The new system contains several key nuances, and overlooking them can lead to a completely false impression of its generosity. Frankly, it was much easier to understand the pros and cons of the rewards track. Spoiler alert. The disappearance of gold, in our opinion, serves as a smokescreen that hides something much bigger. Dear viewers, we haven't slept for 2 nights preparing this video. We'd appreciate your support with a like in advance, and don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Guys, let's take it step by step. Let me briefly go over the core changes. The first thing viewers need to understand is that the arena, as we knew it, is gone. In its place come 2 new modes with entirely different philosophies, the arena and the underground. Without getting too deep into the details, the new arena is a trimmed-down version of the classic format. Runs are shorter and end after either 5 wins or 2 losses. The entry fee remains the same. Developers present this section as the perfect place for new players and those who enjoy drafting decks without the pressure of long, exhausting runs. This is a casual format where opponents are supposed to be matched by rating. At least, that's what the devs claim. On the other hand, the underground is a much more brutal environment, where the stakes are significantly higher. Entry now costs 2 tickets, 300 gold or $4. The format of the runs stays the same, up to 12 wins or 3 losses. Players in this version gain exclusive access to redraft on loss. After losing a match, you'll be given the chance to add 5 new cards and edit your deck again. In this high-risk mode, opponents are matched randomly.
The arena overhaul can't be viewed in isolation. It's part of a broader transformation the game has undergone over the past year. The removal of entire modes, the lukewarm support for alternative ways to play, constant micro-adjustments to the progression system, and the reshuffling of rewards, all of it adds up. Just remember the drama around weekly quests. At one point, Blizzard planned to withhold gold rewards unless players grinded long enough.
Listing all the negative big and small changes would take too long. But one thing is clear, this isn't chaos. It's a deliberate strategy aimed at optimizing systems that don't generate direct revenue, while focusing development efforts on monetizing the standard format through soft pressure. Events now offer significantly more valuable rewards and make the game feel more generous than ever. But at the same time, they push players to grind almost exclusively in traditional Hearthstone. In addition, developers have eliminated alternative ways of earning gold. For example, the Duels mode was removed, despite having a larger player base than the newer Twist format. Duels offered a simpler way to earn gold compared to Arena. In Mercenaries, XP gain for time spent playing was first dramatically reduced, and later rewards were removed entirely. In turn, the Twist format has always been put on pause at key moments so as not to distract attention from Standard. And now, the format has effectively ceased to exist.
Considering this avalanche of minor and major adjustments, I personally had no doubt that the first significant arena update in 11 years wouldn't just aim to improve player experience. It would also continue the direction the game's leadership has clearly chosen.
We've been warning players that there were strong signs the game was becoming less financially efficient. We were the first to speak publicly about the poor financial performance of Battlegrounds, long before it became obvious. We were sure that leadership would take drastic steps to offset the losses, but to be honest, we didn't expect changes on this scale.
Standard has always been, and remains, the primary source of revenue. In our view, the current core goal of the team is to drive player engagement in Standard by any means necessary. Removing other modes, introducing restrictions, creating new quests, changing rewards, releasing exclusive content, and offering unique cosmetics. Leadership likely hopes that increasing engagement will inevitably lead to increased revenue from premium cosmetic sales.
Guys, but how exactly do the arena changes align with that strategy?
Dora, you'll definitely get your answer right after we compare the new and old reward systems.
During our calculations, we ran into a serious dilemma. How should we evaluate the usefulness of the rewards? The issue is that their value varies dramatically. For example, a random epic card for a free-to-play player aiming to build a broad collection is worth its full crafting cost. But for a premium player who regularly buys pre-orders, that same reward is often worth just 100 dust, the disenchant value, because they already own everything they need. The same logic applies to current expansion packs. If a player is still completing their collection, a pack holds its full value and may be worth 100 gold. But if the player already has what they need and only cares about strong cards, even a new pack might effectively turn into 100 dust, a terrible deal. In our calculations, we're basing value on the maximum worth of high rarity cards and the minimum value of low rarity cards, since the duplicate protection system effectively makes commons and rares easily obtainable. One more technical note. Here's the reward table from the classic arena. We don't know the exact drop rates of specific rewards, so we assumed all had equal chances, with one exception: golden high rarity cards. According to Hearthstone Wiki, their drop rates are extremely low, so we factored that in and equated those rewards to their disenchant value.
Now, let's finally get to the results. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the rewards in the new arena format. When I first saw the reward pool, I was pleasantly shocked. Yes, there's no more gold, but you can get far more packs. The reward for 5 wins includes a ticket for another run and 2 packs. I even started thinking, maybe buying packs for gold has become completely pointless. Players could get way more value by buying arena tickets instead.
Let's test that theory. 4-0 wins. The reward is now entirely predictable. 1 pack and 25 dust. Predictability and transparency are great. But previously, you could expect to get 1 pack, 9 gold and 11 dust on average. That's a difference of 14 dust versus 9 gold. And in almost all cases, gold is significantly more useful than dust.
The reward for 1 win is a complete misstep. A random rare card is equivalent to 20 dust, its disenchant value. That means the reward for 1 win is actually worse than for 0 wins. You're getting 7 extra dust, but you lose 11 gold. That's a terrible deal. The only exception is for new players, for whom a rare card could be worth 100 dust. For 2 wins, you now receive 70 dust instead of the previous 11 gold and 18 dust. In the old system, this tier didn't improve much because the reward pool added a rare card alongside common. Again, we don't know the exact probabilities, but the new reward isn't bad. Still, I personally would rather take 11 gold over 52 extra dust. Now the reward for 3 wins is just laughable. For most active players, a pack from the previous expansion holds almost no value. They've already collected all the useful cards, and there's no incentive to complete the full set. As a free-to-play player, I finish every expansion phase with a full collection of epic cards and every useful legendary. In that case, an old pack holds an average value of around 100 dust. For newer or returning players, the value is much higher, effectively a reward worth 200 gold. But for me personally, 37 gold and 14 dust is far more desirable than an outdated pack.
Guys, I didn't expect such negativity from you. I'm sure the reward for 4 wins will be much harder for you to reject. An additional current expansion pack or an epic card? That sounds almost too good. Personally, I'm not even sure which I'd prefer, the pack or the epic. Either is clearly better than 62 gold and 14 dust.
You're absolutely right, Dora. This is finally a reward whose value is hard to argue with, at least for free-to-play players trying to build the widest collection possible. But depending on how long the expansion's been out and how complete your collection already is, even that extra pack or epic card might eventually just turn into 100 dust.
The reward for 5 wins looks truly impressive. 2 packs and a ticket for a new run, which is guaranteed to earn you at least 1 more pack, all for 150 gold invested in the arena ticket.
That's exactly what shocked me. A player who reaches 5 wins automatically doubles the value of their investment. In contrast, the old system offered a net profit of around 22 gold and 24 dust as a bonus. The net profit in the new system is insane and becomes undeniable starting from 4 wins, when you get the chance to turn your 150 gold into 2 packs. The low value of early rewards is more than compensated for by the generosity of the 4 and 5 win rewards. Sure, if the developers replaced the second pack with 100 gold, it would be even better. But if your main goal is to collect as many cards as possible, this is one of the best ways to achieve it.
Dear viewers, if you fully shared Aura's excitement, congratulations. You've just been masterfully played, and you didn't even notice. Because there's one key nuance that completely nullifies our comparison table. If you caught it, please let us know in the comments.
The biggest mistake players make when comparing the new and old reward systems is ignoring how much harder it is to get wins now. The old arena let you make 2 mistakes. Reaching 5 wins was noticeably easier. The new arena allows only 1 loss. That means reaching 5 wins is significantly more difficult. Whether intentional or not, Blizzard has pulled off a brilliant sleight of hand. Comparing the 2 systems is tough, and it's easy to fall into the trap of focusing solely on the disappearance of gold. The key factor in the new arena is win rate. To get even 1 win, your win rate needs to be 50%. That's equivalent to reaching 2 wins in the old system. To get 2 wins now, your win rate must be 66%, roughly equal to 4 wins in the old system. From this perspective, the value gap between rewards becomes even more obvious. And to get 5 wins now, your win rate must be between 83% and 100%. In the old system, all you needed was 71%. And guess what reward in the old arena required an 83% win rate? 10 wins. Notice how the reward for 10 wins back then is eerily similar to the new system's 5-win reward. A pack and 250 gold can easily match 2 packs and an arena ticket, assuming you ignore the fact that gold is a far more flexible resource.
I knew there had to be a catch, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Guys, you didn't mention that it's easier to maintain a high win rate over a short run than a long one. Still, you're absolutely right. Getting 5 wins is significantly harder now, which means the value of the new rewards is at the very least exaggerated. Even more so when we consider Blizzard's official stats. Fewer than 4% of arena players had an average of 5 wins before, and that was with 2 chances to lose. That's just a few thousand players worldwide. Under the new rules, even fewer will achieve that, and that's the harsh reality. It doesn't mean 5 wins is unrealistic, but turning arena into a resource farming tool will be extremely difficult.
Now let's take a look at the rewards in underground mode. This part is much simpler. The entry cost is twice as high, which means we need to double the rewards from the old arena to make a fair comparison. And that makes it clear, the rewards for a low number of wins, the range most players can realistically expect, have noticeably worsened, even from the perspective of someone trying to build a broad collection.
Instead of 2 guaranteed new packs, players now receive what is effectively 1.5 packs and a presumed 50% chance at an old pack, which only holds real value for new players. The rewards for 5 wins are roughly equal on the surface, but the inclusion of a chance at a rare card slightly reduces the value of dust gained. Still, it's hard to ignore the fact that previously you were offered nearly 150 gold, a flexible reward you could reinvest however you liked. Now, that's been replaced with an arena ticket. Blizzard has essentially decided for you how to spend your gold. What's more, low win rewards don't even compensate the absence of gold with increased resources. The utility of the rewards is lower, the quantity is lower, and their flexibility has taken a significant hit, at least for most active players. Everything changes drastically starting at 6 wins. The guaranteed rewards receive a clear upgrade compared to the old system. Yes, flexibility is still lacking, gold would still be better and more useful, but at least you're now getting more meaningful resources if your goal is to collect cards from the new expansion. Plus, there's now a 5% chance to receive 2,000 gold. Over a long enough timeline, that could average out to about 100 gold. But that gold is virtual. There's no pity timer, and the odds don't stack. Introducing a jackpot prize with such low odds makes Arena feel more like a slot machine than a competitive format. In a vacuum, you'd need to get 6 wins 20 times to hit that 2,000 gold jackpot. That would cost around 1,500 gold in tickets, after factoring in the occasional free ticket from rewards. This might technically be a viable way to farm resources, but realistically, only about 100 players on the American server are skilled enough to average 6 wins per run. That's how exclusive this grind method really is. Overall, rewards for high win counts are clearly better if your goal is to expand your standard collection. But if that's not your objective, packs and high rarity cards are essentially just dust, which makes these rewards nearly meaningless. It is really cool that the developers added an exclusive portrait to the reward pool. And it's also great that your 12-win reward can scale based on how few or even zero losses you took. That adds a nice layer of tension and excitement to the competition.
All these changes to rewards highlight two main points. For the vast majority of players who achieve only average results in Arena, the rewards will be noticeably worse. But if you're among the small number of highly skilled players who consistently perform at an extraordinary level, you'll be able to extract much more value. But only in terms of expanding your standard card collection. There's just one thing I don't understand. If you're such a skilled Arena player, consistently averaging 6 to 7 wins, do you even have time left to play standard? Do you need a big card collection?
And I think Dora, your question is actually the key to understanding why gold disappeared from Arena rewards altogether. Shortening runs and doubling the cost of entry can actually make it possible to earn rewards with less time invested, and time is another critical factor behind these changes.
Players will now receive rewards for significantly less effort, which in theory frees up time. The new system turns Arena into a finite mode rather than an endless one. Your gold reserves can run out much faster, and maybe, just maybe, the developers are hoping this will push players toward playing more standard with their now larger collections. And if that doesn't happen? Well, players might be forced to buy Arena tickets with real money to keep playing their favorite mode.
At the same time, the value of free Arena tickets as rewards will decrease for the vast majority of players, because rewards for low win counts have been nerfed. If you're playing with an average win rate of 50 to 60%, you'll now have fewer reasons to spend your resources on Arena.
To sum it all up, I can't say I'm surprised by these changes. Blizzard continues to shape the environment in a way that nudges players towards standard play. Do these changes benefit the game? In my opinion, unfortunately no. But I truly hope I'm wrong. Are the developers doing a bad job? Not if you consider that they are pursuing a specific goal.
Overall, these changes are only good for players who consistently achieve high win rates and who are specifically interested in expanding their card collection through Arena runs.
Personally, I'm not in that category. In fact, 2 months after an expansion launches, I no longer need any more packs, so even the most generous rewards become meaningless to me. Now I have even less motivation to play this mode. In the past, I could turn my Arena ticket into at least a small amount of gold. Now, it's mostly packs, which I might not even need. It's important to remember that the current progression system grants significantly more packs than before, and in a much simpler way. As a result, the overall value of packs in the game has gone down. Under these circumstances, trading gold for a chance to win packs is far less appealing than it used to be. Replacing gold with packs isn't just about a loss of flexibility. It can, in some cases, make the whole system feel irrational. That said, the chase for the mythical 2000 gold reward and the new hero portrait might lead to a wave of irrational enthusiasm, especially if it's actively encouraged by streamers.
Dear viewers, we apologize if we made any calculation errors. We were rushing, and honestly, we haven't slept much.
Perhaps we are mistaken. Maybe this will mark a new era for the Arena. But we tried to be as unbiased as possible and take into account the greatest number of factors. We're really eager to hear your thoughts. Do the new rewards actually help you progress? How would you rate your performance in Arena? How often do you play, and what's your average win count?
Let us know your thoughts below and join the polls in your community tab. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to support our content and stay updated.
Traditionally, we want to express our boundless gratitude to our sponsors.
Dear friends, your help is invaluable. We will be grateful for any support.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for spending this time with us. We really hope that we will have the opportunity to get in touch in the next video.
Take care of yourself.
And never give up.
Job's done.